Ever stop to think how much those little impulse buys on your phone are adding up to, and how many subscription payments are sneaking out of your bank account every single month? Before I started using Rocket Money, let me tell you, I had no idea. But the first time I logged in, I saved $435. I couldn't believe it. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. I just love the dashboard. It shows everything in one place, even the subscriptions you forgot you signed up for. And if there's something you don't need, Rocket Money helps you cancel it. Plus, it alerts you if a bill increases or if something unusual pops up in your account. It's basically like having a personal assistant for your money. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/Kim today. That's rocketmoney.com/Kim. rocketmoney.com/Kim. Sign up for my free daily newsletter, The Current, at getkim.com. Okay, Andrew, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Why did the spy cross the road?
First of all, not a question. Horrible joke is what it is. So you should have prefaced it by saying, I have a horrible joke for you. I have no idea why did the spy cross the road.
Because he was never on your side. See?
I was right. Horrible question.
It was a bad joke, wasn't it?
It was, but that's your brand.
You know, I wanted to introduce today's show on a different level.
Okay.
So normally I would, start with a really interesting story and then I would lead to a bad joke. So I just thought we'd just cut to the chase.
Get right out of the way.
And go right to the bad joke.
Good job. Mission accomplished.
Because after all, I'm Kim Commando, America's beloved digital goddess, here with you once again. Now, this is the Current Podcast. The Current Podcast is the accompaniment to the Current newsletter. See how that all goes together? And the newsletter reaches about 700,000 folks every single day. And you know what this morning's open rate was?
What?
42.3%.
I don't know if that's good or not.
That's actually phenomenal.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Some people are really excited when they have a 20% open rate.
42%?
Yes.
I know
It's
I
huge.
opened mine. Maybe.
I don't think so. You're such a liar. And joining me, of course, is my friend and my co-host, Andrew Babinski, also the co-host on the morning show, 99.9 FM. Have you guys gone all Christmas yet?
No. Yes. It's tomorrow.
Oh, is
So
it?
at some point tomorrow, we will flip to all Christmas music.
And then that's when the station here in Phoenix gets phenomenal ratings.
Oh, yeah. We had great ratings last month. Now they're going to be even better.
And so this is part of the podcast where you beg people. Just go ahead and do it.
It's not begging.
It is.
It's a simple ask. If you're listening to us audio only on the podcast, we are over on YouTube, youtube.com/Kim Commando, where you can see the show. You can see the great pink. Am I right about the color this week?
I'm wearing pink, yes.
Pink shirt. Kim is wearing her beautiful hair. She asked 74 people before the podcast started if her hair looked good. We all said yes because, she signs the checks. But just go over there, subscribe, comment, post. It helps the algorithm, helps build the show. We have over 100,000 followers, but we need to get up to 200,000. We don't get a nice plaque for that.
No.
We got that YouTube plaque for 100,000. We got to get to 1 million. So go and subscribe to the YouTube. We would appreciate it.
We don't even care if you watch anything.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, it would help.
a little bit.
A little bit.
There's podcasts I listen to, and then I switched over, and now I watch them on YouTube, and I enjoy it so much more.
And it's youtube.com/Kim Commando.
Correct.
See how that works?
That's what I said.
And just a couple more things before we get to today's show, which is just phenomenal, just amazing, is that I'm giving away the iPhone Air at $999 value.
That's got to be coming to an end soon, right?
It is. It is coming to an end because we have the Christmas cash promotion.
Oh, nice.
That's starting. And that means every caller to the show and every single day in the newsletter, somebody's going to win maybe up to $1,000.
Every caller to the show
Yes,
is going to get a win up to $1,000?
Yes.
That's a expensive promotion, Kim.
It is. I know. You know me. I don't like spending money.
Well, but at Christmas time, you do love the giveaways.
I do.
You do love to have everybody have a nice Christmas.
Okay, today's show is different because normally we go through different topics, things that are happening in the tech world and different news stories. And today we're just going to talk about one person, Aaliyah Rosa. Aaliyah Rosa, this is straight out of a spy thriller, but it's a true story. It's a real story. And we're talking to her because she's a Russian sex spy that was trained to infiltrate military and tech circles using her charm, her lies.
Well, sex spy kind of tells you.
Yes, and seduction. Now, the reason why I kept asking about my hair
Right.
is that I wanted to make sure I looked good because next to Aaliyah, I don't want to look like a dog.
Yeah, you women, you don't dress nice for us. You dress nice for other women.
Yes.
You get all gussy because you know us. We don't care.
I mean, look
But-
at you.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, even you didn't wear that to impress all the men that you're going to see all day. It's all the women that are looking at you, and you're more worried about you. This is the most you ever worked at how you looked on the podcast.
Well, because Aaliyah is hot.
What an intro.
I mean, I don't want to, it's, you don't want to look like a dog next to somebody.
Well, she's a sex spy. I mean, if you're going to be a sex spy, you're going to be attractive, right?
Yeah, but we're both Russian.
Oh, again, you're trying to compare yourself to her.
Well, I do different honeypot missions. Let's just say
little
that.
bit.
All right, let's go ahead and let's bring Aaliyah in right now.
Hello, guys. Thank you so much for having me. I love your show. It's actually hilarious to listen to you.
Well,
So yeah, I'm so excited to discuss all these things.
well, it's fascinating to me. Well, number one, how does one become a Russian spy?
Oh, there's so many things. Okay, so usually the Secret Intelligence Service, they either scout someone from, good universities, established universities, and like they choose someone who is appropriate according to the expectations. So, for example, your intelligence, your physical abilities, your appearance, of course. In my situation, my father was a high-ranking officer who worked in the military for at least like 35 years, and he actually brought me there. So he's just to say in the beginning, he's a real patriot of the Soviet Union, right? The country which doesn't exist anymore, USSR. I was born there, where all these nationalities were together and united in this huge republic. And I'm actually coming from Kazakhstan, so my parents from Kazakhstan and Tatarstan, but because that time it was USSR, so it kind of was kind of like Russian country, right? So then after 1991, it got dissolved. So when I came to the department, and then I was enrolled to a special program which calls honeypot, honey trapping, or sex espionage. They actually estimated us through different parameters, like, as I said, the IQ level, the ability to survive in unpredictable situations.
Wow.
Of course, the appearance as well, and of course your physical ability, if you would be able to, run for a long time or like do martial arts or whatever. So yeah, there are like a lot of parameters.
So now you get brought in, recommended by your father. You're looking at were you excited?
And how old
this
were
is-
you?
Yeah, I was 18 years old, Andrew, and it's kind of like I didn't know anything else. I graduated high school, right? So I was dreaming to go to fashion. I was dreaming to be, a designer or like, I don't know, do something in fashion. I was, and USSR, Kim, you said like your parents from Ukraine, right? So
Yes.
they may told you that time there was USSR was a really grayish country. So there were no fashion, no colors. Everybody were wearing the same. Everybody were doing the same. So it's like, proper communism. So everything was so standard and so boring. So kind of like wanted to stand out. And then when my father said, no fashion, no, you supposed to be, military officer. So you're supposed to go and continue with the past, which our family's heritage. And I couldn't say no. I also coming from a quite strict background, and I just couldn't speak out. You know how it is like when girls in the family, especially in the military families, they just cannot really, I would say not even like speak out, but like they even don't know what they want, and they follow the parents' advices.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like having a family business. The kids are going to learn,
Exactly.
and then they're going to hopefully go into the family business and ultimately take over the family business. So, this was your upbringing, and it seemed like a natural transition for you to to do this and for it to be an honor that you were selected because you were smart and you were beautiful. And you, in one sense, you were a patriot for them, right?
Thank you. Thank you, Kim. Thank you for these compliments. I appreciate it. I actually never felt myself beautiful. When I came to the military academy, I felt like ugly duckling. But the thing is,
So you have a vision problem? Is that what we're saying? You still were able to be a sex spy even though you can't see?
thank you, Andrew. I'll tell you, like, I was 18, right? I was virgin. I didn't even kiss a boy in high school. And when I came there, and there were like 99% are male, military officers or like soldiers, I felt even more kind of like I was like really shy and I didn't know what to do. And the second week I entered the military career, I was actually raped by my commander.
Oh, God.
And again, it just basically closed me so much. So I just, I even didn't know what to do in this situation. And I couldn't, because it's a power person, right? It's a government person. They're supposed to, fight for justice. They're supposed to protect you. But instead, they were just using you,
Yeah.
brainwashing you and using you. And that brainwash actually is happening, I think, like even till now. And it's a very difficult, corrupted system.
For sure. Now, tell us about so you go through all this training, and do they what well exactly before we could jump to that, what did the training consist of? I mean, you kind of
Yes.
said you had to have a physical ability, you had to be smart. What were they teaching you? I mean, were they teaching you about like the male psyche and how to seduce somebody? I mean, did it include that and also how to get secrets back to the then USSR?
Absolutely. You just really said exactly what we were doing. So imagine this is like a normal academy environment where students study basic stuff, like, for example, the martial arts and how to shoot from the gun and all the, admin kind of like courses. But from 350 around students, there were only 5 females who were chosen for this special program. They wouldn't call it particular sex espionage. They wouldn't call it honey trap or something. There was just a special program which 5 of us, 5 young females, had to attend special classes where 80% of the information we would receive were about psychology, how to influence people, how to program someone's mind, how to seduce, of course, how to use sex techniques and what kind of sex techniques, how to subtly manipulate, how to create this desire in someone's mind. So this person would think in this particular way it would be target. So this person would think that this is his idea,
Yeah.
right? But all the way he even till the end he wouldn't realize that actually it was all set up by the agent. So yes, it was, like, these techniques, they're so classified and they're so forbidden. Me personally, for many years I didn't even realize it, and only after 15 years I understood that this actually, I wish, in the colleges, I wish in the schools, students would kind of like learn how to prevent manipulation, because it's all about manipulation. We live in this world where, like, even from, any communication is all about manipulation. We've been manipulated, or we have to manipulate, or whatever, whatever. Like, unfortunately, but this is true. But when you can spot manipulation and these red flags, you can really prevent yourself from really bad situations in life. And this is the most important. That's what, like, I stand for, and I educate, and that's why I'm here. That's what I want to share to people.
Oh, for
Just
sure. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
because it was a master. I mean, you had to become a master manipulator. Now, when you were assigned a target, how did that go down? I mean, did they say, this is the person, here's the background, and did you meet them in a bar, at a party? How did that happen?
Yes, that's that's interesting question. Thank you. You see, I was working in the department similar to DEA. So it's Department Fighting Human and Drug Trafficking. So my particular targets were these drug lords, these criminals who have a big power, right? So they have a different mentality, of course. So when I was in the academy, we literally studied their mentality. What do they do? What's their desires? What's their weaknesses? And so on. And of course, there's special classifications of criminals and basically of every man. There are like certain types of men. Knowing this type, you can actually understand how to control them, how to make them to be obedient to you. Of course, through a very subtle manipulation. So, for example, I had a target. He was a drug lord. Together with my team, we would set up a sort of like virtual world where we would implement into his brain certain ideas. For example, I was sharing this actually in the podcast To Die For, which was released last year. So it was the whole 17 episodes about my life. So just make it short, my last mission, Vladimir, right? He was the biggest drug lord, somebody like Pablo Escobar, let's say. But he had PTSD from the previous relationships where his girlfriend let him down and he cheated on him. So we recreated a happy ending, sort of happy end for him, where we would create all these virtual, not existent couples, which he would see with his side vision. He would see them somewhere outside. He would see a happy couples walking around him. So it's kind of like set up in this society, right, where the target doesn't really understand what's going on, but in his brain, he feels like that could be me with this particular, like, looking like woman. That could be me who would be happily married, having a kid, having a family, blah, blah, blah. And then after a couple months of studying and spying on him and educating him, what's his preferences, what does he eat, where does he go, what's his inner circle, then very subtly he would see me in the public places. And again, agents, they never approach target immediately and directly. They let the target to get used to you. So he would see me somewhere far from, like, in the street, in the bar, in the coffee shop, in the like restaurant, or like somewhere, like, somewhere, but like not directly. And then when his brain would start to get used to my face and trust sort of like my look, usually we give around like 5 to 7 times, right? It's basically the best site to sell any product. The client have to see advertisement or see this product 7 times, and then the client starts to trust this product, and then he buys it. Same story. So Vladimir saw me with his peripheral vision somewhere, and then eventually he was introduced to me as, one of the friend of the friend. So he initially, not his brain trusted me. And then it was much easier for me to infiltrate him and start a relationship with him.
When you were introduced to him from the friend of the friend, did he recognize you? Did he know that the 7 times he saw you, it was you, or was it all subliminal?
No, because it's basically when you walk somewhere, right, in a public place, and there are like millions of other faces, but you don't remember because there's so many people around you, right? So, but your brain slowly kind of like picks up. You don't even notice it. That's the beauty of it. The brain. Have you ever seen the movie Focus with Will Smith and Margot Robbie? That's
No.
actually an amazing explanation how somebody can set up the whole thing. Like they can set up your decision making process. So it's exactly what spies do. They kind of like create this world where the target thinks that he makes decision, but in fact the decision was made for him.
Now that's fascinating. Remember the good old days of the internet? A place where you could truly feel free without snoops or spies watching every move? Unfortunately, now we go online knowing we're being tracked. Our internet service providers can see our entire browsing history. And in the United States, they're legally allowed to sell this information. Who knows what they'll do with it? That's why I use ExpressVPN. It's a virtual private network that reroutes 100% of my online activity through secure encrypted servers, shielding it from the prying eyes of my service provider and other third parties. ExpressVPN hides my internet address, the number identifying me online, so I can't be tracked. My online activity is actually mine again. Imagine that. It's so easy to use that your entire family can figure it out with just one tap. And it works on all your devices: phones, tablets, TVs, desktops, up to 8 devices at once. Let's return to the good old days of online privacy and freedom. Use my special link to get 4 extra months of ExpressVPN for free at expressvpn.com/Kim. That's expressvpn.com/Kim. I mean, that's really something. Now, you mentioned the seventh 5 to 7 times. Now, I've also heard that there's also 7 times before you have sex with somebody.
Yeah, the rule number 1, and that's what I teach to my students: never have sex on the first date.
What's the
Well, unless
reason?
you want
What's the
to have a
reasoning?
one night stand.
What's the reasoning behind that?
Because imagine, Andrew, you want something and you receive it so easily without any efforts, right? Do you appreciate it?
Sex, yes, I would. Yes, yeah. But I understand what you're trying
you know what?
to say.
Let me tell you something. Okay, let me tell you something. I taught my nephews this when they were dating. And I said, what you want to do is you want to go to the first date, you just, you meet at the bar. The second date, you walk them to the car. The third date, you give them a little kiss on the cheek. Okay. The fourth date, because women are so used to guys just coming after them in full force that you want her to almost think like, what's wrong with me? I mean,
Right.
And I've taught
the basis of all great relationships are manipulation. That's what I'm learning here.
Yes. And so, and then I'll tell you, when my nephew got married, his wife came over to me and said, at their wedding, like, he told me what he did, and oh my gosh, why did you teach him how to do that? All right. So this is really like next level social engineering. I mean,
Yes.
So you did the drug lords. Now, but wasn't there some kind of focus on the tech bros in Silicon Valley too?
Oh my God, thank God. Thank God, no. That's why when I read this article in Times, I was like, oh my God, the US taxpayers lose like $600 billion annually because like these Russian and Chinese spies actually steal the intellectual property from all these huge tech corporations. That's crazy. And I'm also a US taxpayer. So I was like, you know what? Let me actually kind of like share those simple techniques how to spot manipulation, because there's so many corporations spying, not just like from secret intelligence, but like especially men. For women, if a woman asks really nicely, men would do everything, right, Andrew?
Yep.
Very well.
And of course, if it's a beautiful woman, of course, if she's really lovely and she's boosting your ego and she's telling you so many amazing words and compliments and supporting you, even online, this tech, perhaps very clever and genius guy in his work, but he feels that he have this moral female support even online. And then when she, for example, would push him into making him the superhero, such a strong guy, and she's a victim in, fake situations. For example, I don't know, she can say anything. I'm lonely, I don't have parents, I'm immigrant, or like I have, a dangerous situation. Please help me. Please be my, knight in the white armor who would come and save me, because we all raised on this silly stupid fairy tales where the man would have to come and save a princess, right? So of course, man feels this kind of like ego boosting situation where he wants to help this most likely fake profile online, which was created by male um, secret intelligence agents who would manipulate, the whole conversation and would create beautiful, would create a fake account with beautiful, pictures of a girl wearing bikini or like whatever, very like, sexy. Of course, the guy all the time would
Yes,
think
he's
that.
going to go right for it.
Exactly. But you know what? Like the thing is, how many, I don't know the statistics, but according to what I know and what I see, they're like at least like, there are 100. I studied at the McKinsey Institute, right? So the statistic is really bad. Only in the United States, there are 134 million single people. So all these 134 million people, which is almost half of the population of the United States, goes where? Where do they meet each other? Online. So when they go online, most likely there would be either somebody who is pretending, either somebody who's faking something, either somebody who is like telling that they, like instead of like the real age, pretend like
Oh
another
yeah,
age,
you
right?
know what? Literally, there's just there's just so many. I mean, so many fakes. It's ridiculous when
We
you
get
start
the
going.
calls all the time where people get scammed online, and it usually starts with a romantic relationship or what they believe is a romantic relationship that then
Yes.
transitions to, oh, I got this buddy who can invest all
Yeah,
your money.
yes, and they're gonna make 'em
triple
money.
it.
Yeah.
But it all starts with either lust, sex, loneliness, whatever it is, whatever
Yes.
that emotion that scammer is feeling.
But I want to go back to the drug lord. Okay, so you have a relationship with this guy for how long?
So the whole operation took us about 8 months.
Okay.
Before we had about 2 months when we actually investigated him, the whole drug cartel. So altogether, well, let's say 1 year.
Okay. And so you're with this guy for a year. Did you start having any feelings for him?
You know what, Kim? I wish I just had this question recently. No, I unfortunately don't have any feelings at all. And the reason why I don't have these feelings at all, because I was trained not to have any attachment. You see,
Oh.
when I was constantly abused sexually and raped in my academy and then in my department, it's also part of the training where they would say we have to dissociate your emotions, your soul, let's say, from your physical body, because the body belongs to the state, because your body is the tool. You have to use it precisely. And you cannot have any emotions, any feelings towards your target. So of course it would be really romantic to say, yes, I fell in love in all this, like in all these novels, or movies. But in fact, he was my job, and I rescued together with my team, of course, like so many sex trafficked underage kids, so many drugs to be confiscated, which were actually supposed to be distributed to Europe as well, and then who knows where. So for me, he was a job, you know.
Yeah, that makes
But
sense.
then,
That makes
yeah,
sense because it'd be tough for you to do your job if you actually
that's.
had feelings for this guy.
I have to say, I did try. I did respect him, though. I did respect him because he did so much for those orphan kids. And after perestroika, after this sort of like almost like a revolution in 1991, where I was working in 2000s, he created so many sort of like orphanages, like
Hmm.
for these kids who lost their parents or like just were on the streets. I did respect him for this. So he did use that black money, that drug money, to create, houses for this, children. So I cannot say that I was completely
Dissociated,
disgusted by
right?
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, But still, till the end, it was my job.
Even with a healthy diet, sometimes we need a little extra support to stay energized, sharp, and ready for the day. That's why I'm excited to tell you about a product I love from my friends at Native Path, Native Hydrate. When it first launched in 2024, it sold out almost immediately, and now it's finally back in stock. Here's what makes Native Hydrate so special. It has smart nutrition that's packed with a clean blend of vitamins and nutrients to support deep hydration and daily wellness. And it's designed to work for everyone, not just athletes. And the flavors, wow, peach mango, mixed berry, and tangerine. They taste amazing because Native Path perfected natural flavoring. Grab Native Hydrate while you still can. Get this exclusive offer for my listeners. Save up to 44% plus free shipping. Visit getnativepath.com/Kim. Go now while you're thinking about it. Getnativepath.com/Kim.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Individual results may vary.
So while you're with this guy for 8 months or whatever, so you're getting intelligence about the drug cartels and how they're running. And then
Yes.
you're giving this back to the Russian military.
Yeah, my commander, yes.
And then I'm sure they say, we want more information about XYZ. And
Right.
we need to have proof about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then how does it end?
Oh, it ended really badly for the whole thing. Oh my God. But okay, it ended kind of good for me because I'm alive. It ended really bad for the whole drug cartel. Eventually, Vladimir was killed. I would presume of course, I didn't know all the details because by that time I already escaped the whole thing. But I presume there was a huge percentage he was killed because of as kind of like saving me and helping me to escape. Where my name was dropped, my name was discovered, and the whole criminal group find out that I was a mole. So he was the one who actually helped me to escape and covered me. And then after a couple of months, he was killed. That's the story. basically about the plot.
That must have been hard for you. I mean, you're still a woman, you still have emotion, right?
I do, Kim. And I felt like for many, many years, even now, sometimes I feel a huge guilt. But, in the end of the day, I just try to do my best, right? And that's why I feel like my mission is to help people and to help as much as I can orphan kids and maybe continue doing his mission, just helping orphans.
How many missions?
That's
How many missions did you do?
Okay, so there were big missions like let's call it Vladimir mission with this drug lord. But I also had multiple little missions, for example, like a few days. So I cannot really tell you exactly the amount, but I would say for that years. And also I had like little missions where it wasn't like really spying, but it was just absorbing and giving my own opinion on somebody, right? So I would say like big missions, I had about maybe like 10, like just like literally going and, studying and infiltrating. But small missions, I mean, many, like really, like, I mean, there was so many tasks, like, for example, just like go and find out what this person is about or like just get them some information.
How many times did you feel like, or give us an example of one time where you felt like, I'm not going to see tomorrow. I'm going to be killed. I'm not going to survive this.
Yeah, that night when the, drug criminals find out that I was a mole and they almost like beat me to my, to my desk. And that was the night where actually I said like, okay, probably this is the end of it. And I really, that moment I was like saying goodbye to everyone and just, I mean, inside of me, right? Like, and basically praying to God that, okay, like I I live my life and now it's time to go to probably hell or who knows where. But yeah, that was
So, all right. So now, how did you get out of it? I mean, that must have been so incredibly difficult.
No, she just put in her 2-week notice.
That's it. I'm done.
I'm not a spy anymore. I'm going to go take a job at H&R Block.
That's it. Target. It would be Target. I'm just saying. And then also, you are now a U.S. citizen, which is amazing to me.
Okay, so I'm so grateful, and I would say this every single day, every time. I'm so grateful to American government, to American people, and God bless America. Seriously, I lived in Switzerland, England, Italy, France, Greece, obviously Russia, but I never ever had the same feeling like I have here. Like I feel at home, like I feel safe, I feel secure. And yes, I did get my 10 years green card. I'm not the citizenship, but I don't have
Oh,
citizenship
okay.
yet. Hopefully I will one day. But the reason why I'm public and I speak about it is because America gave me this protection. And that's why actually I cut off all the connections with the Russian government. And obviously, that's it. I would never go back to Russia. And I completely disconnected myself. And I'm happy that finally, only in America, I finally got my freedom. So I really love this country. And I'm here, and I also like gave an interview for different press and everything, educating American citizens to understand and prevent manipulation, for example, of like from Russian or Chinese or whatever spies. So it's kind of like giving back to the country, which just gives me so much.
But you had to. So, but when you wanted to get out of all this, I mean,
I couldn't.
Andrew joked that oh, you just gave in your 2 weeks notice, but you had to say goodbye to your parents,
Yes, absolutely.
your family, and
Yes.
how did that come down? How did that work?
Well, I would say with my parents, it was a really difficult time. Thank God they are alive, but they're still in Russia. I didn't see them for many, many years. Obviously, I lost any connections with my friends and, former colleagues. One of my colleagues actually, who was willing to give an interview, she was amazing, amazing female agent. She saved herself so many sex trafficked women. She was incredible. And when she last year accepted to give an interview for this podcast to Die For, where we were doing all the investigation about sex espionage spies from Russia, she was killed.
Oh,
And I felt so much guilt for this as well, because I don't know what was the reason and what really happened, but that's what I also can presume because of
yeah.
this. And it's really, really difficult. And I would say I couldn't get out from that trap for many years, even living in Europe. Only in America, when I went public and when the Ukraine war started, and I started to speak out against the war, standing for peace, that was the moment which actually the American government gave me this protection.
I see.
And I felt like, yes, now I cut off.
Now, did you, and I know it's different because it's an entirely different culture than I was raised here in the United States. And did you ever go to your father and say, why? I mean, you could say he was a patriot and he's a nationalist and all that other stuff, but in the back of his mind, or your mom's mind, I mean, they were sex trafficking you, right?
Thank you so much, Kim. Thank you. Yes, it means it took me actually it takes me already 17 years of therapy every week. I did speak with him, but the point is that he doesn't understand that. He really doesn't. And every time we speak about, politics and the, regime in Russia and all this, we just basically on the phone get into the, verbal fights and arguments. And then my mom said, just do not speak with him about, all the things. Just don't speak about weather and I don't know, some, routine, but nothing about this, conversations about Russian political regime and all that. So
which is probably better because, you can't go back and undo what has happened. You have to move forward.
yes,
We all have different things that have happened in our lives that may not have been, ideal, of course.
Yeah,
and
but we try to make it work, right, for us, for
and
the
you know,
future.
and obviously you're a very, very strong woman. I mean, you know,
Thank you.
emotionally strong.
Like, but I'm still a woman, and I feel sometimes very lonely and depressed and vulnerable. I have these moments, and I have a 16 years old son to raise, and I'm a single mom. His father was, killed many years ago when he was 1 year old. So it's really hard. It's really hard, but what can we do? Like, as I said, like we need to do the best in our life because this is only one life, and I'm really grateful for this life. And I'm honestly like living here in America already for 5 years. It's just it's been the best time of my life, really.
Has anyone ever approached you and said your life needs to be a movie?
Actually, yes. That's why I'm in Los Angeles.
Oh,
So I honestly didn't expect, like I swear, like I didn't know, I didn't expect. I simply, when I gave the first interview standing against the Ukraine war, I didn't expect it all would come to where I am right now. So now we are working on the documentary, actually, which will educate people that sex espionage does exist, not only from secret intelligence services, but also in corporation world, like everywhere. So men especially would be educated that sort of like some females, or we can call them like gold diggers, that they
Yeah,
manipulate.
they do.
They do, but the problem is that men, they don't know this, and it's cute maybe, but they're so naive. And
well, hold on. We do know it. We just the
Don't want-
potential that's on the other side is worth the risk sometimes.
You know,
Great.
and when you see
We're horny, is what I'm saying.
and when you see a 27-year-old girl with an 80-year-old guy, it's love.
yeah, of course, it's like pure love,
It's
No,
just-
but in this case, Kim, I would agree with Andrew too. So let's say this 80 years old man, he knows that, how many really like years will he have? At least he can get this 27 years old beautiful girl whom he kind of like, he buys her, but he buys her time. So if she agrees and he agrees to go into this relationship, okay. But I'm talking about where a married man, for example, or a really nice guy, right? Who is in this love bombing trap, right? Giving the information about the company without even knowing, or like he was just like doing without even intention. He's been manipulated,
Right.
okay, to this woman who is so experienced, and he does it in purpose, pretending that she loves him, or even she can get into marriage with him or having kids. And on another side, she would like just basically betray him every single time. That's a big problem for the society.
Yeah, it is, and you know, it's as you've pointed out. There's a series of steps. It's easy to get manipulated, especially when you have your emotions invested.
Yes.
And in your ego. I mean, it's thinking of, we all see who's the football coach with the 27-year-old girl.
Bill Belichick
Yes. Okay.
and Jordan.
And she's, I mean, I saw the interview of her on 60 Minutes where she's like, we are not going to talk about that.
Right.
Okay.
But he knows he deals with the manipulation or whatever it is on the back end because he's benefiting from it.
Of course, he's getting laid,
Yeah.
and he's by a 20-something-year-old girl, a young
Right.
woman. I mean, that.
But he's not being manipulated to the he knows what it is. He knows what the situation
I
is.
hope so.
But the targets that she's talking about, they're low. I mean, I read when I was reading up on this interview is that they look for these tech guys because A, the information that they'll get from them will be profitable, but B, they're so isolated in the office.
They are.
without
Yes.
relationships,
And most of them don't have very good communication skills.
no social skills at
Absolutely.
all.
Right. Right. I mean,
Absolutely.
I remember that I had my nephew here, and the girls in the office were trying to help him. He's a bona fide IT geek. He is, and so Kristen was sitting in the break room, and I forget who walked down the stairs, and Kristen said, Chris, I want you to look at this woman, and she's wearing a blue sweater, and I want you to say to her, if you ever see something like this, you say, wow, that's a great color blue on you. It really accentuates your eyes. And he looked at her and said, I don't see that. Then she put her hands up. She's like, I get it.
Exactly.
There's only.
You're going to be single forever then.
He's actually married. He's got a kid now.
Oh,
but
he found someone that didn't need to be complimented in that way.
Exactly. Well, Leah, thank you for being here and for sharing your story with us. I'm sure you live with certain things that are really hard for you to deal with. I mean, I don't know, obviously, a lot of it, but I can imagine that you can say it's not your body and it's not your mind, but it is, and there are certain things that you probably can't unsee. But I think by you coming out and talking about it, it's probably helping you. And I think, it's helping people who are easily manipulated. And like Andrew said, you said, we get the phone calls here, some guy thinks that really Jennifer Aniston is in love with him. And you're like, dude, you're in Kentucky. Okay.
You own a tractor rental business.
Okay. She doesn't need your money to buy an airline ticket. Okay. She's a billionaire, And so I think, if we can just, impart just a couple of words about, if you want to just close it up right now and, give us give us just really quickly 3 signs that you are getting manipulated.
Absolutely, would love that, and thank you so much for this question. Yes, so number 1, when, as you mentioned before, when you see someone love bombing you, right, without any even reason, like you just said, this Kentucky guy thinks that Jennifer Lawrence is in love with him, where he creates this world which doesn't even exist, and the manipulator would literally give so many compliments and love bombing and so much attention, so much energy, so much time. This is the first question you should think, why, right? I just met this person. Why this person giving me so much of these things? Why? And the question towards to you, why I'm so important to this person? It's not about I'm a cute guy or whatever. What does she want? The first question should be in the heart of every man. What does she want? Why I'm so interested in her? What is inside? Number 2, if manipulator, in this case we speak about woman, right? If she asks a lot, for example, a lot of to do together, or a lot of things to kind of maybe to give information of something, when it's a lot of demands, or when it's a lot of kind of time spending together, this is also a question. Why is this, how this person lived before, right, without meeting me? Why this person wants to be with me 24/7? Okay. And then the third important thing to see, if emotional swings. Emotional swings, it's a very bad, dark manipulation techniques. When somebody love bombing you, and then bomb, the person disappears for a few hours. It's okay, but if the person disappears for a few days and then comes back nothing happened, that's a huge red flag. This is a huge manipulation. It means that the person basically tries to put you on the emotional swings. I give you a lot of traits, good boy, then bam, ignorance, coldness. Then the person, the man feels in this situation something happened, he's paranoid. So this is the worst dark manipulation technique, where the manipulator literally hooks this target, and then he just completely depends from manipulator.
That's all great advice.
Yeah.
It really is, Leah. It is.
Thank you.
Well,
I hope it will help, to those men who listen to us from Kentucky and Ohio and Alabama. I hope it helps, guys. Seriously.
As long as we save one.
we can save one.
Yes.
We can do that. Well, I guarantee you, Leah, that we've made a difference here. And if anybody's watching, you're listening, and if you're wondering if you are being manipulated, reach out to us. You can tell us your story, and we will tell you yes or no. Right, Andrew? We will be completely honest.
Yeah, we never hold back.
No, it's not. Are you sure Lisa's not Russian? Okay. Once again, Aaliyah, thanks again for being here.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time and thank you for having me.
Okay, so if anybody was just listening to this podcast, watching it, they really need to share this.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's not just about us trying to save the cyber world from all the master scammers and manipulators out there. I mean, together we can make a difference. So what we want them to do is
Comment, like, subscribe, but share.
we need you to share.
Because A, her life story is amazing. And it's just interesting to hear what happened. But B, we all might have somebody who opens every single email they get, clicks on every link that they get, and know that on the end of that could be someone trying to manipulate you and get your money.
And that's what they want.
Yes.
Not your love.
No.
They want your money.